Hey guys, it's RockTheGolem, and welcome back to the Town of Light. We're in this little courtyard area inside of the, well, either outside of the asylum. It's definitely fenced in and protected, but there's a hole over here in this brick wall, and I'm pretty sure that's the obvious sign of "go here, stupid," that this game doesn't always seem to employ, but I'm going to take it as such anyway. And I was wrong, because that is not letting me through at all. Okay then, so we are then going to have to figure out a different way to go. Thankfully, we do have a couple of other directions. We could go straight across and see if anything is between these bushes, which, there's a gate. Okay. Possible progress, but the way the dirt is mounded up like that, not so much. Although this seems like it might be like another front entrance, like on a main road. Because the side that we came in seemed like it was more like, oh, there we go, like a back road.
Renee's state of health is good. She is eating and speaking.
Uh-huh.
Her spatial and temporal orientation is good. Therapy suspended. December 3rd.
Oh, wow.
She calmly asks if she can leave the hospital. Evaluate patient for 6 months.
Fair enough.
May 2nd, 1944. Discharge denied, despite a favorable psychiatric opinion.
Why?
The patient has no home.
Oh.
Of support.
So they were going to keep her to, like, support her?
The reasons why discharge is impossible are explained, and this is how Renee learns of her mother's death.
Oh,
2 years
God.
after.
They waited 2 years to tell her?
May 5th. She tried to kill herself in the night by hanging herself with a sheet, saved by the nurses.
Jeez.
Restrained to her bed, she once more tried to kill herself by suffocation. The decision
Oh,
has been
God.
taken to perform a transorbital lobotomy.
Oh, no. If you guys have ever seen the movie From Hell, and again, that probably predates this game's time period, but transorbital lobotomy is not a pleasant procedure. The way they describe, and again, like there's something going on here because this is all still new. So I guarantee that's where we're being carted to in that flashback. But if you guys have ever seen that movie, and assuming it's the same procedure they're talking about, the way they do it is by basically taking a metal spike and hitting it into the patient's head through both temples on the side and then once through the middle of the forehead. So that being the case, it basically renders the person into being a vegetable. So I don't know, like, oh, and here's the room. Is this the thing? Yeah, it's literally the exact same thing. Like in From Hell, there was a little cup around the spike to help drive it in to its proper place, but literally it's a spike and a hammer. That's all it is. There's nothing more to the process than that. But I wonder if it's the same thing where it's all 3 points that it happens on. So it wants me to lay on the table, huh? So yeah, so it looks like they literally had me in one of these rooms, like probably this room right here, and then carted me down this hall, although I hallucinated it as being longer than it was. Final chapter. So wait, is that completing the final chapter, or am I getting into the final chapter now? Yeah, the use of lobotomy spread rapidly in Italy compared to other European countries and America. The original technique pioneered by A.E. Moniz was perfected in 1937 by Feminetti, who conceived the first lobotomy and improved yada yada people, stuff, and things. The operation involved gaining access to the frontal lobes of the brain by sawing through the bones of the orbit above the eyelids and damaged the lobes by means of an alcohol and formaldehyde injection, Jesus, or by using a special instrument. They actually went up through the eye? Contrary to what was often thought, the patients did not always receive invalidating damage, although this was often the case. Moniz was awarded the Nobel Prize for Medicine in 1949. This therapy gradually fell into disuse after the discovery of chlorhexidine or something in 1951. So they found a way to chemically do it, it seems, but Jesus Christ, that's even more like disturbing than the way I remember it in From Hell. So it looks like the lobotomy didn't take, or is she remembering the lobotomy now? Oh God, no! She's remembering it, or at least we're gonna see it. Jesus. Oh, just keep your eyes closed. Well, she can't because they're supposed to go up through the eyelid and through the ocular cavity, so she really can't keep them closed. Good God. Somebody say something, please. Talk, do something, don't just stand there. Although I suppose that probably helps them, like, keep a healthy separation so that they're not, like, you know, feeling sympathy. Oh, come on. It's very disturbing viewing this from Renee's point of view. Because literally, like, it seems like, at least for these doctors, I don't know I don't know if this is Dr. B and Dr. C or whatever it is, but it seems like, at least to me, like, if you have to be the guy to perform this, like, you have to have such a separate... Oh, God. Oh, now we're looking at Renee. Don't tell me we're going to see it be performed on her now, as opposed to, like, actually, we're going to be the doctor now, aren't we? Oh, God. Oh, we are going to see it. Holy shit. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. How? Like, I know that as a doctor, like, you're supposed to be trained to have a certain... Oh, they're going to smash it in. Oh, my God. Jesus. Like, so they're basically, like, using that spike as a fucking, like, swizzle stick and, like, liquefying her brain. Oh. That is so much worse than what it was like in From Hell.
10th of June, 1944. Operation successful. Patient tranquil and collaborative.
Yeah, no shit, because their brain
Motor
doesn't work.
coordination capacity reduced, but she's improving. Transferred to the tranquil department in the care of Dr. B. 25th of October. Continues to talk about Amara and her doll, Charlotte. The disturbances of motor capacity show slight signs of improvement.
God.
Difficulty walking, not capable of riding, and the nurses report that they have to help her dress, wash, and feed herself. In the summer of 1944, Renee was transferred back into my department. Aware of little, indifferent, hardly ever spoke.
I wonder why.
One day, she said, "When I find the courage to look at myself in the mirror, I see a young face which is aged and looks at me full of fear." She is a woman now who has changed profoundly compared to the girl that I had under my care several years ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
Only the sadness of her gaze and her intelligence are unchanged. She's so young, just 23 years old, but is lacking all vitality. Perhaps her condition may improve, but probably not.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Her life has been thrown away. And nobody did a thing to try to avoid this.
Oh, God. So, I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, the game is a little confusing because we're going through the building and, like, trying to relive all this stuff, and I had decisions to make and everything. But clearly, based on this, the asylum is still up and running and intact. So, was this just her mind trying to make sense of everything and trying to cope? Because, like, if this is actually her at the end now, sitting on this stone bench, then, like, she isn't remembering things that actually happened. Like, there's no way she could have read that documentation. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know, but... Oh, my God. this is like the heaviest game I have ever played. Not just for this channel, but in general. Wow. I I don't even know what to feel right now. Like, it's crazy to think that this is the way some people were treated. And for all we know, that there are people that are still like that today, just kind of like thrown in somewhere and just left to essentially rot. Like, no one to watch out for them or take care of them or try to, make things better. But, oh my God. So, I mean, I'm assuming that because this is like trying to inform us of what was going on, that everything that we read about, what she went through was true in some respects, but there is some things that are open to interpretation because it's almost like it's her memory trying to rationalize itself against like actual documentation. So it doesn't always make sense, but then again, if we're trying to remember it from her perspective and her brain has literally been scrambled, then how could she possibly remember it? Like, like I don't know if there was supposed to have been any kind of like moral lesson to pick up from this game, or if it literally was just supposed to have been an experience to like remind people of what things were like back then. And I mentioned before at the beginning of this playthrough, like medical science back then was obviously not its best. I mean, it's phenomenal now compared to what it was back then, and even just up for a few years ago. We've made leaps and bounds when it comes to medical science. We can grow organs that are genetic duplicates of people, like actual, like we're basically on the verge of eliminating the need for organ donors or like a transplant list, because all that has to happen is for doctors to cultivate cells from the person that needs the transfer, and they can actually grow the organ that they need to be a perfect match and not have any fear of rejection. We have guns, or a spray gun rather, that can actually use a person's own, an adult's stem cells to regrow skin from burns as serious as 3rd degree all the way down to the bone. Like, obviously they didn't have that sort of stuff back then, and lobotomies are carried out very differently if they're even done nowadays. I can't tell you the last time I've heard of anyone nowadays having to be lobotomized unless there was like a brain injury where the brain tissue was dead. Like, they would never like go into, for all intents and purposes, a physically healthy brain like that, especially with not as invasive as a procedure or as violent of a procedure. And what I was trying to say before when I was watching it unfold, and I kept kind of getting lost in my own thoughts, was that being a doctor back then, having to perform a procedure like that, I feel like you would need to have such a degree of separation from the patient that you almost have no connection to them at all, to the point where it's just like you're cutting into meat. Like, it's not even a person anymore. It's just like it's cattle on a slab. But man, this was a very heavy game. Like, I knew I was going to have an experience playing it. I just didn't realize it would be this extreme. So I'm not really sure what else to say about this, to be honest with you. I really hope you guys do watch this playthrough and that you get to this point and that you yourself have some insight to share, and share your thoughts and feelings with me on it, because I'd love to get a dialogue going about what I just saw. And I think it would just help me kind of like talk it out with people, just so I can, make sense of everything that I've experienced through this playthrough and that you guys have been experiencing right along with me. So I hope you guys, for, lack of a better way of putting it, enjoyed this playthrough and that you guys do contribute, because I would love to hear from you. But this is going to end this series here. There's no more, as far as I'm aware, unless something else comes up, of the Town of Light. So if there is a playthrough you guys want me to see, or a game that you guys want me to play, let me know. You can leave it in the comments below, or you can direct message me or email me, whichever you guys prefer. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. So thank you all very much for watching. If you like what you've seen and heard, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And having said all that, I will see you all on the other side. Take care.